it's walleye! Yeah! Oh, it's a giant, dude. Oh my. Oh! Oh my goodness!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Chill Outdoors. This is gonna start a series of videos where we go out and we try new bodies of water, and we're gonna tell you guys everything you need to know what we were going through on that day. Maybe it'll help you in wherever you're at. Maybe you have a similar situation. Or maybe you want to try out these bodies of water. We're gonna tell you guys the date, the time, the air temperature, the water clarity, what we were throwing, what worked for us. We're even gonna tell you exactly where we caught fish. We're gonna tell you where we fished on the body of water. So make sure you are subscribed below so you can stick around and see these videos. Go ahead and drop a like and a comment. So this first body of water is called Prairie Creek Reservoir in Muncie, Indiana. I had never been there before. I knew nothing about it. I had never even visually seen the lake, never driven by it or nothing. So all we knew about the lake before going there was that they do have a good largemouth bass population, and they also stock it with walleye. And apparently they get pretty big. In fact, I even catch a pretty good walleye in this video. So we were out there on April 5th. Air temperature was about 50 degrees. Water temperature was actually pretty cold. We were expecting some warmer temperatures, not the case. I think the warmest water we saw was maybe 55 degrees. The average was about 51 degrees. It was extremely muddy, very, very stained water, and it was also very, very windy on this particular day. So here was my lineup for that day. Being in super muddy water, I picked a lot of cranks with rattles and the chatterbait. It's a dark chatterbait, lighter weight with a yum tail, a raw outdoors shad colored, lipless with rattles. This was called like the thermocline. It is a floating crankbait with rattles. I got it out of a Lucky Taco Box. Wasn't super impressed. The Guggen Squad Grande Recon Chartreuse looks amazing. Didn't catch any fish. It also has some rattles in it. And then the star of the day is this little Berkeley bluegill colored squarebill with no rattles. And for whatever reason, this sucker is what caught them all that day. Dad was throwing a wacky rig, a squarebill, and he also threw like a minnow with a spinner on the front, which did get him a catch. So going into this, we thought to ourselves, okay, this is super, super muddy. Let's try to get up into some inlets. It's cold, it's muddy, let's find warmer water, maybe even clearer water. So we went into the back of the coves. We were looking for where water comes in. Well, it ended up being extremely muddy. It didn't get much warmer back up in there. So we didn't do that too long. So we started out pitching and flipping a couple of trees. I thought to myself, maybe we'll find some fish in the shallows or maybe hugged up against brush, sticks, logs, or right up against the shore. None of that worked. So we came out of that cove. As we came out of that cove, we fished a bridge. We figured the bridge would be like a funnel. No hits in there. There was also a couple of people fishing for walleye and crappie. They weren't even doing that hot. So we get out into this opening and I thought, okay, let's hit some windswept rock points. And that's where it really turned on for us in this particular lake. So I switch over to a silent Berkeley bluegill 2 3/4 inch squarebill, okay? So we get up to this rock point, boom, right up against the shore. I nail this first bass.
Oh, I got a fish, dude. I got a fish, dude. He's fighting. I don't know. It's staying down, so I don't know what it is. Oh, it's a good bass. I think I could flip him if he's coming fast. Oh, look at that. Here, just come up out of there. Boom. Look at that.
Yeah, I saw you. And then you're like...
Well, because I've been snapping it out of the grass. Uh-oh, we're getting up into this now. I've been snapping it out of the grass. I came right around that point on the Berkeley bluegill squarebill, dude.
Then, while I'm messing around with something under the seat, Dad hooks into a fish, gets it in, and it's the biggest shad I think I've ever seen.
Oh, it's what is it?
What I got?
That's a giant gizzard shad. That is a giant shad, dude. That's the biggest shad I've ever seen in my life.
That was one of the things I learned about this body of water too. Prairie Creek, I guess, is known for having a huge amount of gizzard shad, which is why some of their bass supposedly get so big. They have an excellent food source out of those shad. So now we're working on 2 fish out of the same point, and then I hook into this walleye.
No, I know that bass was not going to try to spawn on these rocks though, right?
No, that bass was out feeding.
Oh, got one. Oh, it's a good one, dude. It's a good one. Yeah. Let me get it. You got him? Here, I'm coming around to you. I'm going to bring him back here. I'm going to lift him. I'm going to start lifting him up.
Bring him up.
Oh, it's a huge walleye. Get him! Oh! Yes! What? What?
Walleye there, dude.
Where's my little clippers? What?
So we worked that point for a little bit longer. We didn't catch anything else but 3 fish on one rocky point right up against the shore. I can't really say that that was a pattern because it was 3 different kinds of fish, but there was fish there. So we shot straight across the lake and we thought, okay, let's get on some more of these points, right? Well, we fished one rocky point, nothing. We go up into another cove, try to get close to an inlet, nothing. Not getting on fish in there. Like I said, I think it was just still a little bit too cold. We weren't seeing anything on the graph though at 8 feet or deeper, so we didn't really know which way we should work from there. And we ended up finding another rock point and boom, Dad hooks into one of his bass there.
What you got? What you got?
I don't know, but it looked pretty big. And it hit, I didn't get a chance to set the hook.
Oh, it's a good bass, dude.
I did not set the hook very good.
Oh, he's digging. Oh, bright red eyes, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
I told you I didn't have him hooked.
Oh,
He was
dude.
right next to the boat.
That's it, dude. We found another windswept rock point. That was it, dude.
So obviously we think to ourselves, okay, maybe we need to find some rocks. So we go up to the dam, we don't catch anything at the dam. Now, for future reference, I do think this lake is gonna be a very good lake to fish, especially in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously, it's a little bit warmer than the reservoir right by my house. I live right next to a reservoir, but the deepest that it gets is maybe 25 to 30 feet, and that's only in a few spots. So my local reservoir is getting pretty warm. I mean, we already saw 60-degree water out there. So I can understand that this lake is a little bit colder. It's gonna take a little bit longer. There's not as many coves, so the lake itself is probably holding that cold temperature. I do think Prairie Creek is gonna turn on. I do think it's gonna be good. I was excited to catch a walleye. That was really cool. So if you're into walleye fishing, you might wanna check that out. Plus, for future reference, what they do is they actually load up that whole eastern shoreline with docks. That whole eastern shoreline is gonna be loaded with docks all summer for the campground and such. They also pour a bunch of sand all the way up through there. So there's sandy bottom, there's docks, there's tons of stuff on that east side, although it is probably heavily fished by shore fishermen, plus there's a bunch of boats coming in and out of there. But if you want to get into unpressured fish, you just move over to that western side. The whole western side, except for a few spots, is all public park, and there's some trails up in there, but there's probably not a lot of shoreline fishing over there, and I do think fish will produce out of there. Plus, there is several ledges that we saw on the graph. There was several shallow flats, about 8 to 10 feet, and I think over the summer the fish are gonna be ganged up out there. So I only think it's gonna get better. I did enjoy my trip out there, even though we got really, really cold. Before we left, we did try to throw some really deep cranks, some 30 foot, some 25 foot, and some 20 foot cranks, including the Guggen Squad, Grande, Recon. We tried to get into some deeper fish, didn't do any good. I don't know if it was us or if it was the weather, but the water was really cold. So, first time, Prairie Creek Reservoir. I am gonna list this as a satisfied trip. I am gonna go back there, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you've ever been there, drop a comment below. Let me know how you did. If you have a lake you would like to see us try to fish, drop a comment below. We'll come out, we'll try it, maybe even pick you up, and we'll just do a collab out on the boat. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.